Good afternoon. This is Jeff from the Cyber Pro podcast, back with another episode. Today we have Gabrielle on the podcast who's going to tell us a little bit more about penetration testing and what we can all do to decrease our overall risk by continually testing our defenses. So on that, as I like to say sometimes, hackers never sleep. So let's jump in. Gabrielle, in a few sentences, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Gabrielle Botbol, and I am a Parisian woman living in Montreal. And I work as an offensive security consultant at Desjardins. And I'm also a blogger and a podcaster. I am the Vice President Communications of NorthSec Conference in Montreal. And I was honored for my career and contribution to the cyber community by being named one of the top 20 women in cybersecurity in Canada.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. Question number two, can you share with us a very interesting and fascinating aspect about being a cyber professional woman during these crazy times, really?
Well, I really enjoy this role because it helps to protect cyberspace and and enable people to serve the net safely and securely. And I would say it's a complex and never-ending task because cyber criminals are becoming more numerous every day and endangering individual liberties, democracy, economic stability, and sovereignty. And so these challenges make me proud to participate in helping society to reach cyber peace.
Very well put. I think I might add ever increasing along with ever changing cybersecurity as we move forward. So on that, that leads us into question number three. And we hear all the time, every day from every level, that cybersecurity is not only one of the major concerns, but it's something that's growing on a daily basis. So when you hear a comment like that, what does that mean to you?
Well, for me, it means that cyber professionals try to make of cybersecurity a popular culture so that it can become a lifestyle. Because I think awareness is not enough anymore in 2021. And I think that to achieve this, we need cyber community to double its efforts to popularize cybersecurity and companies to apply privacy and security by design policies and also public services to train young people in computer hygiene from an early age by launching national advertising campaigns on how to stay safe online.
Part of the popular culture, that is a very fascinating way of putting it. I think, and tell me if you're wrong, when you say something like that, part of what you mean is so that the things that right now we consciously think about maybe evolve to a point where it becomes second nature, something that we
Exactly.
get used to, like driving a vehicle.
Yeah, exactly. Like you are used to you have a driver's license, so you can go ahead and drive. And so cybersecurity should be like this. Like you don't have to. It should be some sort of sixth sense. You know.
That is a great way of putting that. I'm going to come back to that in a second if we have time as a bonus question. But let's get into the meat of it. Question number four, uh, ethical hacking, the importance of continually testing to decrease risk. What about this would you like to share with our community?
Well, I wanted to share how I trained myself to become a pentester. I relied on an education science concept by Philippe Carré, which is called apprenance. And it is, if I quote Philippe Carré, it is a lasting set of dispositions favorable to the act of learning in all situations, formal or informal, experiential or didactic, self-directed or not, and intentional or accidental. So uh, my project involved 6 steps, such as e-learning, CTF, learning expeditions, internship, conferences, and volunteering. And so in order to document my approach, I created a blog to share my experience. And I also built an analysis grid of skills resulting from this whole project. And I achieved my goal by being hired as a pen tester in Canada. But I, and that's, I think, one of the thing when you are a pen tester is that you still want to learn. And I do, even after I achieve this goal, I want to learn, and I still want to get an expert on many different subjects. So
Yeah, I think one of the key aspects of testing as well as life in general is the continual learning curve that we're all on, because as we evolve, we certainly know, or at least realize, that those who try to penetrate us are evolving faster and more intelligently than we are sometimes. And with the advent of AI coming around the corner, or already here, that speed is only going to get quicker.
yeah.
So excellent, excellent insight. For those of our listeners who may want to learn a little bit more about you, what you do, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
You can have a look at my blog. It's Gabrielle B, sorry, .fr/blog, or you can find me on LinkedIn. I always like to have. Sometimes people contact me to ask me questions, and I always like to share with people who want to get into the field. Or so I'm always available if you have any question on how to get started, or if you are looking for resources or anything. I always like to share this kind of thing. So you can find me on LinkedIn, Gabrielle Botbol, or have a look at my blog. I have put plenty articles in it. And I also have like a specific article on how to get started on pen testing with some tips I give so that people can dive right in.
Wonderful, wonderful. And we have time for our last question. I hope you prepared something for it. It's our question number 5, and our fun question, just to wrap up this podcast. So that question is question number 5. Finally, what is your favorite piece of retro technology that makes you smile?
Okay, so I love the old floppy disk. Like, because when I was a kid, I used to have one with an Indiana Jones game on it, and I really loved to play with it. And I was really amazed because the story was so well made. You know, it was this game where you had a few questions and answers, and you had to choose an answers to go along with the game. But you also have some sort of world to explore. Like, it's not as big as the world you have in video games now, but it was very well done for such an old game. So
I think we all can remember the first video game that really got us hooked into what we do today. Uh, Thank you for your time today. I wanted to let our viewers know that we typically post 2 to 3 episodes of the Cyber Pro podcast. We try to cover all different aspects of cybersecurity and the world that revolves around it. So thank you for spending the time today. And Gabrielle, merci. We wish you well.
thank you for having me.